Hi everybody, Drew Stegman here, and today I want to talk about a SPAC opportunity. This actually recently went public back in August. So we're going to talk all about why I believe this company that just merged into this SPAC deal, we're going to talk all about why this stock has, in my opinion, massive upside potential, probably a 5x, 10x opportunity over the next several years. And I do think it's probably best just to buy and hold this stock. I know some stocks you get in, they go up like 100, 200%, and it happens very quickly. So I understand people wanting to take profits and things of that nature, but for this stock, I think it's really probably better just to buy and hold this stock. But we're going to get into that here in just a minute. First though, if you're new around here, my name is Drew Stegman. Like I said, I like to talk about the stock market, all about investing and building wealth through trading and investing in stocks. So if you like those topics, consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, guys, head on over to WEBULL and get your 4 free stocks valued up to $3,700. Fantastic promotion. And I'm not sure how much longer it's going to last, but really, I mean, it's free money if you think about it. So you might as well go over there and sign up for an account. Link is in the description. And then finally, guys, if you do want to sign up for the Patreon, I just launched that like almost 2 weeks ago. We have about 43 members right now. It's a community that we're building, and we're going to have a Discord chat on there. And there's also early access to my YouTube videos just like this, and you get to watch them ad-free as well. So some good benefits. If you do want to check that out, it's a great way to support the channel. But anyway, guys, let's get into Utz Brands, which is the stock I'm talking about. Ticker symbol is UTZ. And so this went public, like I said, back in August. And the current share price is $22.06 per share. The market capitalization is just about $1.3 billion. And so this news came out back in June, and it says Hanover-based Utz merges with Collier Creek Holdings in $1.56 billion deal. And so I'm going to read this article real quick. It's not very long. I just kind of want to give you an idea more about Utz Brands and what they do, and really, so you can understand what's going on with the merger. So basically, Utz Snacks, the nation's largest privately owned snack company, is headed to the New York Stock Exchange. On Tuesday, June 9th, the Hanover-based company announced a $1.56 billion merger with Delaware-based Collier Creek Holdings. As we approach our 100-year anniversary, we are excited to take this important step forward to position Utz for its next century of growth, Utz CEO Dylan Lissette said in a statement. The merger has been in discussion since May. The deal will officially close at the end of the third quarter. The Rice and Lissette families will retain more than 90% of the existing equity stake and will represent more than 50% of ownership in Utz Brands, according to the news release. Utz was founded in 1921 by William and Sally Utz and is known for its original potato chips and cheese ball snack brands. The company acquired Snyder of Berlin last year and has acquired a variety of snack products and companies including Zapp's, Bachman, Golden Flake, Good Health, TGI Fridays Snacks, Boulder Canyon, and Tortillas. Utz Snacks stocks will be trading on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol Utz. And so that's it for the article. And when we look at what acquisitions they're doing, that was just some of the acquisitions. Now, this acquisition actually just came out in November. Not sure if you've heard of a company known as On the Border, and I used to eat these chips all the time when I was a kid. Basically, they make chips, they make queso, and so here's some of the brands, though, just to show you real quick. Some of the brands that, as we just mentioned, that Utz sells, and so they're in the snack food industry. They sell a lot of different cheese balls and pretzels and all kinds of different chips, so they are really expanding their product lines, and that's what I like about this stock, because what they're doing is, what I just mentioned with On the Border, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably heard about that. They make queso dip, they make salsa. I see them in the store all the time. Practically any grocery store you go to is going to have On the Border, at least where I live here in around the St. Louis area. And I just remember eating these chips when I was a kid. They were my favorite chips, and I still eat them to this day sometimes because they're so good. And the queso dips they make and the salsa and everything. So this was a pretty big acquisition announcement. And real quick, I do want to mention one more acquisition that did happen recently. And this is a strategic acquisition with H.K. Anderson. And so basically it's a pretzel company. I'm not sure if you've heard of this company. I have personally heard of it, but I actually have not had their pretzels. And so this was an acquisition that also went down in November. And so basically it provides a $100 million peanut butter filled pretzel category opportunity. So if you think about, how detailed that is, what kind of a niche market that is. But Basically, what we're looking at here is a $100 million opportunity with the acquisition of H.K. Anderson. And so basically it was done with a purchase price of less than $10 million funded from cash on hand. And so they didn't use debt or selling equity. They just had cash on hand. And so they said, we might as well go ahead and purchase this pretzel company. And so this is going to continue, I think, with all these different acquisitions. And basically what this means is you're going to be able to see their revenues growing because they already have all the other brands which are super successful and people love those types of chips. They stay loyal to certain brands. I know for me, like I only eat certain brands of chips. I'm very loyal to certain types of chips, and On the Border, for example, is one that I eat a lot. And so I think just thinking about that from a consumer perspective and how that impacts their sales, that's something that I really would look at and consider if you're an investor, because I think personally what they're doing is very smart. They're continuing to acquire new businesses, and these are just a couple of examples. Now, I do want to get into, in more detail, their third quarter financial results. And so this also came out in November. And so I just want to kind of show you where they're going. And this is before, the acquisitions that they acquired in November, those even haven't showed up yet. So the fourth quarter is going to be a lot better in my opinion. Now we can see that they had net sales of $248 million, an increase of 24.2% over the prior year. Gross profit of $86.2 million, an increase of $16.4 million or 23.5% over the prior year period. Net loss of $7.3 million compared to net income of $10.3 million of the prior year. The net loss was driven by transaction-related expenses from the successful combination of Collier Creek Holdings with Utz Brand Holdings. And so that's just temporary. We're not going to have to worry about them losing money. They are making money, and they're going to continue to make more money because they keep on taking market share. So adjusted EBITDA of $38.2 million, an increase of $10.9 million or 39.8% over the prior year. Cash and cash equivalents of $32 million. Total debt of $420 million and net debt of $388 million. So really not a lot of debt, less than $1 billion. Now it is a very small market capitalization as well, but I do expect the market cap to grow over time. We were only at $1.3 billion, and so with all these additional acquisitions, as I've been mentioning throughout this video, if they can just continue to focus on that using some of the cash they have on hand, increasing that cash balance, taking those profits, taking the cash flow that they will ordinarily get, besides the fact that they had to pay an expense with Collier Creek Holdings for the merger. But when you think about on a regular year, if they did $10.3 million net income in the prior year, that's going to continue, and it's going to continue to grow. So if they're able to just reinvest their cash flow, reinvest into other businesses and other acquisitions, and really On the Border was a pretty big food brand. And so we can actually look at that in more detail, and that's something else I want to talk about real quick. And so here's a chart on there. This is an investor presentation that you can find on their website, and I'll leave the link to this in the description below if you're interested. So it says Utz to become clear number 3 scale competitor, and it just shows you the additional revenues that they're going to be getting from On the Border. And then you can also look at what Utz combined with On the Border will do and how that will increase their rank of retail sales, going from, with just Utz brand, 3.9% in the salty snacks category versus 4.7%. And pretty much in every category, you're seeing a big increase in market share. For example, the tortilla chip market, we can see that it was just at 0.3% with Utz Brands. And then with Utz Brands and On the Border, we can see a going from 0.3% to 3.9% is an astronomical increase. And so they're gaining a lot more market share in all these various niche markets, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's what you want to see. And then also looking at their margin and cash flow benefits, you can see that with just Utz Brands, EBITDA of $129 to $132 million, and then $184 to $187 million with On the Border. So this was a massive acquisition, and it's just one example of an acquisition strategy that I think is going to continue with this company. And when you look at all the numbers on this right here, you can see the adjusted EBITDA margin going from 14% to 16%. These are some complicated metrics, but the point is them going up is good. So that's what you want to see. But yeah, guys, I just kind of wanted to point this stock out because in my personal opinion, this company is way under the radar. And one more thing I do want to mention is that they actually recently did pay a dividend. And so their dividend strategy is going to continue, I think. It wasn't a huge dividend, but this does look like, something that is kind of consistent so far. They had 2 quarters, and I think it was like 5 cents per share, 6 cents per share for those 2 quarters in a row. But the point being is that This company is priced very, very low, especially when you consider all the other SPAC deals. And by the way, something I forgot to mention is that I do have to give full credit to my friend over there, Ian, at PPCIAN, Dividend Investing for Everyone. He has a great channel, and he talks a lot about dividend stocks, and so this company does pay a dividend, and I think that's one reason he mentioned it. But something else he mentioned is that a lot of the fund managers out there can only buy certain stocks, and so they can't actually buy a stock like this because according to a lot of the rules and regulations on Wall Street, that you can only buy stocks like these once they reach a certain metric or market capitalization or whatever it is. And so a lot of the fund managers actually aren't able to buy this stock. And I think that will change in the future because this is definitely a dominant player in the snack food space. And so I really can't see that lasting forever. And one thing that you have to keep in mind is that the pension funds, the hedge funds, all the big money managers, the mutual funds, they're the ones who really control the market, and they're the ones who can push up the prices of these stocks astronomically. To me, it looks like they're a solid business. I mean, they're growing their cash flows, they're growing their acquisitions, and they're acquiring additional revenue streams. They're typically profitable, except for this last quarter in Q3 because of the merger with Collier Holdings. But at the end of the day, guys, I think this is a solid company, and I think at a $1.3 billion market cap, it's something that really is under the radar. I haven't really seen any YouTubers besides Ian over at PPCIN talk about this stock, and so I think that will change in the future, and I think once this company really starts to go up in price, I think that more and more people will take it seriously and realize what a undervalued opportunity this is, in my personal opinion, of course. But I encourage you to do your own research. It's obviously important not just to take my word for something, but to look at the fundamentals yourself. And so that's it, guys. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I think this stock presents a really good opportunity, especially considering that the street has not caught on yet. And when they do catch on, I think the price will be a lot higher because they're a dominant company in the snack food space, and they just came to market. And with a lot of these SPACs, as you've seen, they have grown exponentially in their market caps. And I think this one's really going to be no different. Now, as far as, whether you should trade this or long-term invest this, I think this really is a long-term investment. I really like the company. I like what they're doing with the business, and I like how they're taking more market share. So I would personally consider holding this long term. And actually, I have not added a position to this stock because I just learned about it, but I probably will add a position here pretty soon because I like the company and I like the fact that it's really under the radar at this point and nobody's really talking about it. Of course, you can also make money trading this stock. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, for me, I think this is more of a buy and hold stock, especially if they're going to be paying a dividend. That's a win-win situation in my mind. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And until next time, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys got value and if you enjoyed this video. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.